So they investigated me. Try and shut me up. Okay? And that group of people of color disbanded. Sometimes when you lose, you win. So we have a rites of passage program here at Lane in which just on the African American side, we've been going for 17 years, and we basically started the program after the first go-round with Serbu. We've seen 600 black kids in 17 years. 3 of them have gone to jail. The rest have either gone to college or the military or are working. Serbu, show me your numbers. You can't. You won't. We win. We lost against them, but we win. So the lesson for you is the best thing that you can do is raise yourself and raise your kids to not be a problem, but be solutions. But you have to know what the barriers are up front. So if it don't kill you, it makes you stronger and smarter. As long as you don't internalize the stress. Okay? Keep hydrated. Sweat. Work hard. And play hard, too. It will be a struggle. So the teacher prepares the mind of the student for battle. It might be a struggle. So, critical consciousness, conscientization, that's the English variation of it, or conscientization, popular educational and social concept developed by Brazilian pedagogue. Pedagogues are basically study how teachers teach, an educational theorist, Paulo Freire, which focuses on achieving an in-depth understanding of the world, allowing for the perception and exposure of social and political contradiction. Critical consciousness also includes taking action against the oppressive elements in one's life that are illuminated by that understanding. So, like I said, we can't train street wisdom, but people who have come out of the life of drug dealing, prison, etc., I'm not saying you have to go through this to become a powerful, social worker if that's what you want to do, but it does help if you can turn it around because you have insights that other people don't have in the college education. Look, I'm a son of a doctor. I've never done time. I've only been arrested once. Limited experience with drug dealing, but you wouldn't even call it that. Okay? But I talked to lots of people, so I learned from their experience. In 40 years, you better. So, the idea, remember I've said, is that you're under attack, you're a target, this is the normal state of affairs to be a consumer, slave, citizen. So I'm trying to give you the tools, awareness to fight back and be healthy or be a more contented slave if you want to be, but you probably don't want to be. So, now that I've given you that opportunity to be aware of your wounding, it's kind of up to you to heal it. You do not have to heal it to pass this class. Witness, the woman I told you about who took both this class and the pro class and still wind up mainlining methamphetamine. Like, I don't know why that was, but what she said is, well, I just didn't take I lied about the assignments. And I lied to myself. And you can do that. I'm not your counselor. Even if you were even if I was in a counseling relationship, you can lie to me. You can tell me whatever story you want. But why lie to yourself? So you were scared by your own truth. Being afraid means there's something that you need to approach with skill. It's up to you to heal that wound. So this does scare some people off. You can pass the class without attending to your own wounding, but will you be free otherwise? It's up to you. So I got to tell you about Trojan horse warfare. You've heard about the Trojan horse, right? Right? Basically, the idea is it's a weapon disguised as a gift. You think it's harmless but it's there to harm you. Maybe not immediately, but over the long term. So, which is more effective? Kill you now, or have you kill yourself slowly while they make money from your illness and slow decline? I'll give you a page out of Black History, even though this isn't a Black History class. In the history of the Ku Klux Klan, documented, they lynched 10,000 people, 10,000 black people, mostly black people, but not just black people, but mostly 10,000. From late 1890s to the early 20s, roughly. 10,000. That's documented. So in that figure that I've said that every day more people die from legal drugs than died at 9/11. Okay? So that's a Surgeon General statistic. Let's say that black people are 10% of that statistic. So that means 75,000 black people die from legal drugs every year. That's 7 times what the Klan did in its entire history. And so one of the things they do in terms of targeted marketing, they sell 40s, automatic binge drinking to youth. They sell menthol cigarettes. Mint suppresses the cough reflex so that you hold down the smoke longer, and they target menthol cigarettes to black people. So much so that in prison, cigarettes are a form of currency. White prisoners will not smoke or trade menthol cigarettes because, I'm quoting now, because it's a nigger cigarette. I'm just being real, all right? Essentially. So that means that, again, 7 times more black people that died in lynching die every year, and they're making money off of our addictions, our legal addictions. So if that's happening to us, what do you think is happening to you? Because that's one of the lessons I talk about in my ethnic studies class. What was once done to us because of race is now being done to you for the money. So you better be hip to the game. That's why the social recon. You thought that was crazy, but look at what you learned. It's legal. It is not legal for you to drink under 21, but it is legal to market to you. Because that's free speech, because corporations are people. All right? Understand the game? It's about the Benjamins. So, you think it's harmless. So, which is more effective? Kill you now? Or have you kill yourself while they make money from you? See the game now? Part of it. So, against Trojan horses, we have Nubian horse. So, a Nubian horse is Nubia is part of Africa where the Egyptians got their gold. So, the cavalry ain't coming. And if it is coming, it ain't coming to rescue you. So, corporations have more money than government in a fight where the golden rule prevails. That is, them that got the gold makes the rules. Who do you think is going to win? The entire treatment and prevention effort that is federally funded is 10 times less than the annual budgets that the tobacco companies spend on advertising in a year. 10 to 1. I'm using the year 2000 figures. So it's $1 billion for all drug prevention and treatment efforts that are federally funded in the year 2000. In that same year, the alcohol and tobacco companies spent $10 billion in advertising in the U.S. market alone. Who you think is going to win? Them that got the gold makes the rules. So the U.S. cavalry ain't going to come to your aid. They're outspent. Okay? So I'm training you to fight. Sorry if I'm fanatical about that, but I am. So, Trojan horse, a weapon disguised as a gift. Beware of Greeks bearing gifts. That's where that phrase came from. Trojan horses can come in any form. So the reason I reference the Bible, the bottle, and the casino, that in Native American populations, an elder once said, there are 3 tests that came to Native people: the Bible, the bottle, and the casino. And what he was talking about, I characterize as Trojan horse warfare. They were induced to give up their own religious values that said, we don't drink alcohol. Like when I said it was illegal for Native Americans to drink alcohol before 1952, it was also illegal for them to practice their religion before 1978. Particularly where their religion said, we ain't dealing with fire water at all. And then the reservations were flooded with hard alcohol in defiance of federal law with the full knowledge of Congress. And they couldn't practice their religion that said, we're not drinking alcohol. They had to convert to Christianity, where, boom, they're drinking. Bible, the bottle, and the casino. A weapon disguised as a gift. So, curriculum. How you are taught in school. What is part of what you're taught and what is left out. Therapy. What your counselor is trained to ask you or not. Science. What works for your life or what is not? Who studies what that is? You think the science says that you must study systemic discrimination? No, not unless you go to historically black colleges and universities and are taught by the black people that have studied that scientifically. Or your daddy's one. Trojan horse. So, Arabian horses. Anybody ride? So, have you ridden a full-blood Arab?
Yeah, I don't.
What are they like?
They're very angry. They're very hot-headed, tempered.
Yes. They're horses, hot-headed temper, they're angry. Understand where these horses came from. These horses were bred for warfare. They're hand-fed, they lived in the tent with you. And they're designed to basically go into battle with guns and cannons and bombs, etc., and get you out of it. Not freak out at a loud noise. So they're kind of like, you will call them spirited. They're really intelligent. And they're really sensitive. If they sense any fear in you at all, they will throw you. Right? Okay. So what happens is you breed that intelligence and attitude out of them, and you make a quarter horse. Quarter horse is 1/4 Arab. So you get the stamina, you get the strength without the intelligence. Okay? So what I'm saying is, against the Trojan horse, you need a horse that's smarter than the Trojan horse. So I'm saying a Nubian horse. I'm just talking about history. This is actual fact about. I'm glad there was somebody that actually knows what an Arab is, because they are badass. So they are war horses bred for battle. So Africans were at Troy, for example, in the Ethiopians, they mentioned Memnon and the honorable Ethiopians. So since we were at Troy, it's part of our history to understand, oh, these Greeks used a weapon disguised as a gift. Very clever. Not our form of warfare. We want our enemies strong. So if we beat them honorably, that's good. You're strong, we're strong. I want you at your best. Because otherwise, it's no fun to beat somebody that's less skilled than you. Where's the fun in that? You want a skilled opponent. Right? So being at Troy, we can recognize and diffuse Trojan horses and train Nubian horses or Arabian horses for warfare. So Nubia was where Egypt's gold came from, so that's where the name came from. So Nubians were dark-skinned people who could draw on many sources of inspiration. Inspire means to breathe within, the spirit within. So this is a cover from a Bob Marley album, Confrontation, where Bob's on basically an Arab, because Arabs can be pure black, they can be white, they can be lots of different colors, brown. So Bob is the knight slaying the dragon of Babylon. Mind is the horse, breath is the bridle. So, an Arabian horse is a mind trained to battle Trojan horses or the forces of slavery. The mind, horse, is trained not to react to any situation except at the command of its rider, who remains outwardly calm, focused on the goal no matter what the enemy does. See, the students that I was dealing with today, and since I had been that student myself, they were basically angry because the instructor made them feel dumb and said stuff in class and singled them out. Oh, you should be angry at that. That's unprofessional. We don't have to make you feel bad. But understand, if you react in an angry way, you just fell into their trap. So you can't. You have to respond, be assertive, be respectful, and be incisively, that is like a knife, cutting and telling the truth, even if it's your truth. You're not going to deter me from my dream. So focus on the goal, no matter what the enemy does. The enemy is anyone who doesn't recognize you as a relative, as kin, within the unity, who does not assist in the liberation of all from bondage, particularly in helping you free yourself. That's the enemy. Sometimes the enemy lives with you, tries to talk you out of it. Sometimes you're your own worst enemy. Okay, so there's nothing wrong with having anger. Anger is an indicator that you've been hurt. It's what you do with it. Have you healed the wound properly? Right? So, yes, sometimes when you meet the enemy is you. So before you can think out of the box, you have to know that there is a box and that you can get outside of it. You also have to know what the box is made of and how it's constructed. So when we talk about consensus reality, what we agree is real is a construct of reference. Have I told you what a referent is yet? Okay. So a construct is basically something that was put together. A referent is a psychological object. It could be a concept, it could be an idea, it could be a way of doing something. How do you make a fluffy omelet? You know, you can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. Ha ha ha. How do you make a fluffy omelet? What do you do? With milk. What else?
Whip it.
Whip it. How do you whip it? What do you do with the egg whites and the yolk? Well, you separate the egg, the yolk from the egg whites, so you have to break the egg in a particular way so that it doesn't fall out, so that the white separates naturally from the egg yolk. Then you whip the egg whites till they fluff up. You can use a little milk with that if you want. And then you fold in the mixed up yolks later. That's a construct. How to do something. The egg is the referent. Right? You can't make an omelet without breaking eggs. So I just refer to a psychological object to make a larger point.